All right, good morning, everybody. We're cutting in here thanks to, we have a tornado warning for some areas in our Callahan County, part of Taylor as well. So if you're in these areas, go ahead and take cover. We're gonna I'll go over to the storm in just a second, but I want to point out some areas that may be in that kind of area. So Lawn, Oppland, Dudley, Potosi, Clyde, Baird. Make sure y'all are in your safe place area, kind of paying attention to these updates here as we go along. There is possibility for rotation in your areas, so let's get to that real quick. Also, lots of hail happening in these areas as well. So let me get up to this radar here as we're taking a look here. So all of these areas that are seeing these kind of concentrated dark colors here, we're going to be paying attention to this, especially this southeast kind of part of this storm. We're going to be watching that. But the Dudley area, Eula and Clyde and Baird, make sure you all are going ahead and getting in your safe places because we are now under a tornado warning, meaning the conditions are very favorable for a tornado to be put down. We have not had a report of a tornado yet. That warning just indicates that we are anticipating conditions favorable for a tornado. So we're going to be watching this closely. But again, any of these areas here kind of covered, Eula, Rowden, kind of getting towards Admiral, Putman, Baird, Oppland, go ahead and make sure you're in your safe place. Even in the areas east of Abilene here, make sure you're kind of going ahead and taking cover. And if you're also in areas in Shackelford, go ahead and do that as well for us. So that way, when that kind of storm heads that way, we're going to be prepared for that. So we're going to pull up the velocity here. So we're seeing a little bit of rotation, mainly in that south part of the storm. That's where we kind of see that green meet the red there. So kind of paying attention to that. That is kind of north of Lawn now, near Oppland and Dudley. Again, we have not had a report of a tornado yet, but there is a possibility we could eventually see one. So again, best thing that you can do is just be in your places. Make sure you are kind of looking at being in your safe spot there. So we are going to continue again, trying to find that rotation in there. So we're seeing the rotation doesn't look not seeing much of it here. There we go. We can see some near Oppland. So it's going to continue to head towards the Eula area and maybe even Dudley. It seems like Abilene is going to miss the worst of us here. So this warning is until 5:45. So we have a little bit more to go here. On this velocity from the Dyess Air Force Base, we're not seeing much besides here kind of just east of Tuscola. So let me keep east of Lawn, significantly weakened. Okay, good. We like to hear that. Let me kind of pull something up here. Continuing to look. I'm not seeing as much rotation anymore, so that's a good sign. Of course, we're going to keep kind of our eye on it, but I think definitely east of Lawn, definitely kind of more near Oppland now. Be on the lookout for that, but of course, stay indoors the best you can. It's just me up here, so I'm trying to do my best to kind of keep things rolling here. So yeah, I would say it's kind of near the Oppland area, maybe in between Dudley as well. So if you're in those areas, just make sure you're in your safe place. And then as it heads towards Clyde and Baird, we're going to kind of keep an eye out for that as well. Yeah, there we go. Okay, now it's looking to be more towards east of Dudley. So if you're FM 604 south, County Road 269, we're going to keep an eye there. Best thing you can do is to be in your safe places. So We're looking at continuing to look at this tornado warning, trying to get some better information for you guys. Okay, yeah, so we're looking east of Opland. That's where we're seeing that. So that's where their National Weather Service is indicating that rotation. Now I believe that's kind of east of the Dudley area. So luckily moving pretty quickly. Hopefully y'all can, oh. All right, that accidentally died. All right, we're getting back up on Facebook as well, but here is that kind of velocity area. So if you're, again, FM 604 south, as that's heading towards FM 321, this kind of area of rotation, that's what's possible of what we're seeing. So originally it was kind of east of the Opland area. There we go. East of the Opland area, continuing to be east there. So we're back up now on live, so that kind of failed. Make sure, again, you're all in your safe places here this morning. We're going to keep an eye on this. It's looking to continue to head towards the east, maybe even towards Baird. We're still seeing mainly some hail here. Have not had a report of a tornado. Again, I repeat that, have not had a report yet. So we are just mainly looking at possible rotation. So continuing to keep an eye there. We're looking at golf ball size hail possible for these areas here. That's heading towards Baird mainly. And then also on our north side, luckily that is weakening towards Knox City and the Haskell area. So mainly just this storm down south. We still are under that tornado warning all the way until 5:45. Not looking at too much going on there, but it is warned because that has the capacity for rotation. It does not necessarily mean we are seeing a lot of it here. So we are gonna take a break here for a second and then come back in a little bit, but just know there is a tornado warning until 5:45 here. We will get back up in just a minute when we kind of pinpoint a few other things, but until 5:45 a.m., make sure these areas, Clyde, Baird, Dudley, Potosi, Opland, these areas, even Admiral, Rowden, Putnam, and make sure you're in your safe places. And as it's heading towards Shackelford, I would also go ahead and get in your kind of safe place areas, Albany, Moran, those areas, because this will continue to head towards the northeast. So we're going to come back live in just a few minutes.
From the Taylor Telecom Weather Center, your Storm Alert forecast with meteorologist Caden Dinkins.
Good Thursday morning, everybody. We are looking straight at a tornado warned area here this morning until 5:45. This warning is in place. We've been tracking this for about the last 45 minutes now. Dudley, Eula, Clyde, Baird, that's kind of where a lot of the system is heading. So continue to seek shelter. Stay in your safe places here this morning. That's going to be your best place to be here this morning. We haven't seen a confirmed tornado and not really much rotation. A lot of that is looking to be those winds that are really, really strong, kind of causing a little bit of wrapping, but not necessarily a tornado per se. The Opland area, Dudley area continue staying in that until 5:45. Some areas kind of east here like Tuscola, you're likely in the clear for this, but just continue kind of staying in place, especially the lawn area. A lot of this has calmed down, but the best place you can be is there until 5:45. Now this is the only tornado warned area here this morning, so let's talk about kind of a little bit about this storm here. I'm going to jump off screen and kind of show some of my graphics here. So we're seeing this is the storm that is tornado warned here. Again, not seeing really any, getting some information now. Maybe reorganizing tornado threat continues. So we're going to see this tornado threat. I believe this rotation is getting closer towards Baird, if we are seeing any here. So the kind of this green area here heading towards Baird, we're going to want to keep an eye on that here this morning. So as that gets closer, please just continue to stay in your safe places. That's going to be our biggest threat here this morning, but also this hail. This hail is continuing to cause a big issue, likely larger hail across the area. So continue staying. We're likely going to continue, as per the Weather Service, we're going to continue this tornado threat in the Callahan County area and could be reorganizing. So kind of taking a closer look at this storm here. Yeah, this area right here as it gets closer towards Baird. I think that's kind of where we're looking at here. So stay in your safe places. No confirmed tornado as of now. No confirmed tornado as of now, but we are possibly seeing this reconfigure. Is there any way we can stay live, Keith? I'm talking to our directors here so we can kind of stay on air since there is a tornado warned storm in the area. We're going to figure this out, and if we can't stay live totally, we're going to kind of keep getting back on air.
With fresh looks arriving monthly, there's always something new to love at Furniture Row. Like the Yukon reclining leather sectional. Draped in top grain leather with a multifunctional console, the Yukon is the pinnacle of power reclining comfort. Or dine on the Meadow Lake. With a rounded edge top and eye-catching turned legs, this farmhouse-inspired set marries nostalgia and durability. And for your bedroom, the glamour. With sparkling LED lit rhinestones.
Part of your house and continuing to stay there in the innermost areas of your home. We do have some other storms out there right now, but not of any particular main threat. So we're going to kind of keep going here. We're live on air, so we're going to kind of keep us up here. I have not seen a report yet. Yes, we've also seen that the rotation has calmed down, but per the National Weather Service, we're seeing that some of this is continuing. Again, in the Baird area, this is kind of the area that I'm looking at. County Road 248, 351. You're possibly in some of that area there. Yeah, that's exactly kind of where we're looking at here this morning. So please just stay in your safe places there. This warning is until 5:45. We're seeing some of this these winds to become rain wrapped, so it is going to be a little bit harder to see. Yes, this could be coming towards the Shackelford area, so also go ahead and stay in place there. Areas in Abilene, you're likely to be in the clear for now. This is mainly looking at Clyde and Callahan County. This area here that's kind of under this purple color, that's where we're going to see most of this happening. So County Road 248 specifically, and then into County Road 351 and Country Road 484. If you're in any of those areas, please make sure you are in your covered area, protecting your head and your neck here this morning, and that's also bringing us some hail in these areas. So we're going to continue to keep an eye on that there. Hail has been probably the biggest issue here this morning. I'm going to go ahead and see if we can see this on our tower camera anywhere. May not be likely, but we can maybe get a good view. We're seeing that storm definitely east of us here. Abilene is in the clear. We just saw a good amount of rain. I don't have necessarily a path of this tornado or a possible tornado. There is not a tornado on the ground yet that has been confirmed. We're just continuing the warning. So the warning means that we have tornado ingredients there for this here. So we're continuing this warning through areas here near the Baird area, continuing to kind of look through that. Let's see, storm track, here we go. So yeah, we're looking at this kind of rotation south of Baird, those areas, and then now kind of south of 477 and 456. It's gonna be where a lot of that rotation is. So these kind of two areas here, hopefully you can see me circle this. So this area here, we're gonna be watching for that rotation here this morning. So if you're in Admiral, make sure you're also taking shelter here this morning. Yeah, that's what we're kind of looking at. So that's the main cell we're seeing here. So it has gone down south now past this. So no confirmed tornado at least, but we are still tracking some of that rotation here. So this is just north of Rowden. Excuse me if I am pronouncing that incorrectly, but that's kind of where we're paying attention to. All right, everybody. Trying to get some more data in here. I still think it's a little bit kind of west of the Rowden area. Just still stay in your, just the best place you're going to be. We actually have extended this warning until 6 a.m. now. So through Callahan County, we now have a new warning, including now Rowden, Admiral, Putman. In those areas, trying to keep my information here. So we can see some shear, so we definitely have some shear out there in these areas. But again, as per the National Weather Service, we're seeing some of, seeing that some of these winds within these storms is probably maybe causing this signature here, because not seeing much on the velocity here, but that shear, that's definitely needed in these storms. So Rowden is kind of where we saw that original track, but I think we're looking kind of in this area here completely. I know that's a big area, but it's kind of difficult to pinpoint this here. So in this area here, that's where we're going to continue to be looking. Again, no confirmed tornado as of now. But if you're in these areas, let me zoom in a little bit closer to kind of get you some names here. Mainly that main road, let's see, just south of Baird. Let's see. We're looking at County Road 248, County Road 470, in anywhere of these areas in between kind of that main road dropping down from Baird, and then in between Rowden as well. Excuse me. County Road 447, these areas in between, that's where we're kind of watching here this morning. So be on the lookout for that. Again, I'll keep saying it, no confirmed tornado as of now. We have not seen any reports. I'm going to pull up these storm reports. If you give me 1 second. All right. Let's see what we can see here. Yeah, as of now, we still have no tornado reports, so usually we have some people that are able to kind of be spotters through the area. We're still under this severe weather watch until 8 a.m., so these are likely to continue until 8 a.m. This morning. So we're looking at these watches. Just the only two warnings right now are still looking to be in Callahan, but let's go ahead and look at the wider view here of these storms. So these are the main storms here that we're looking at, kind of the ones right in Callahan. They are kind of heading in towards the Shackelford area and even towards Stevens. So if you're in those areas also, please go ahead and kind of take shelter there. We're continuing to watch that for, again, a possible tornado, but we're not looking at too much of that here. So please go ahead, if Stevens, Shackelford, Callahan, go ahead and get in your safe areas. That way when this storm does come, you'll be prepared. Again, the main threat is this hail. We're still seeing a ton of hail over the Admiral area. And again, this could be what we're seeing on that signature. Cisco, you are likely to see some of these storms in just a little bit here, mainly the edge of it here. That big kind of portion of that hail is going to head towards Moran and FM 880 north, FM 376 into Dothan, and then into Stevens kind of county there. So that's that main storm we're seeing. Someone was looking at Sweetwater area. These storms are not looking as severe as of right now. We could see some advisories though. So nope, only advisories we have right now are for these two storms we're seeing. So these are the only ones strengthening. Advisories for Eastland and Eastland County and Stevens. So the places I was just kind of mentioning there, you guys want to go ahead and get prepared to kind of just seek shelter just in case. It's always best to be preventative rather than to not. Because these areas are likely going to see that the next half of that storm coming through. Luckily, it is, again, has not showed a tornado at all yet, not a confirmed tornado, which is good, but we are still seeing a lot of this hail here. So this area traveling over Putnam, I think that's definitely some of the biggest issue there. And then also kind of down south here, heading towards FM 880. We're going to keep watch of this edge of this storm. Yep. So that right there, County Road 323, County Road 225, be watching out there for those areas, seeing some kind of velocity mixed in there. That's not, we don't want to see a lot of that green with the red, but we're only seeing it on this radar here. So just be paying attention to those areas for sure. All of these areas in general, though, in Callahan County should be in your safe places right now. We're seeing warnings, severe thunderstorm warnings now issued for Stevens and Eastland County, but the biggest thing we're going to focus on here is the tornado warnings in Callahan. Seeing them in Admiral, Putnam, Atwell. Rowden is now out of that warning, so that is good. So we're actually seeing this storm continue, I believe, now in the northeast kind of area of Callahan County. This storm is kind of given a little bit of a tricky situation here. So where a lot of this pink is near Putnam, that's going to be where a lot of that stronger part of the storm is, and where the main part of that hail is here this morning. All right, so Baird, I'm hearing that it's calming down, so that's good. You're on that kind of western side of the storm, so things are going to start to be a little bit clear there. Abilene is definitely looking a bit more clear. We're seeing storms kind of coming from the Sweetwater area. They are looking a little bit to be strengthening here, but they do not have an advisory yet, so that is a good thing. But they are likely to become strong to severe. Main threat here, though, is near the kind of Putnam area, just past Baird, so that's good. No tornado report still, but we are continuing this warning through 6 a.m. now, so that is going to stay put because there are conditions favorable for these. So the next thing I want to focus on here is the other areas getting into your safe places as well. If you are in the Putnam area, Atwell area, Cisco, Morton, Eastland, Nimrod, those areas here, specifically kind of north here. So Highway 880 north, FM 880 north as well. Make sure you are getting in your safe areas. Even Moran, Dothan, Harpersville, definitely kind of get to your areas that are the safest spot in your home, whether that's underneath your home in a storm shelter or in the innermost part of your hallway. Innermost part of your hallway, away from windows, away from kind of any glass areas. Protecting your head and your neck is going to be the best place you can be. The innermost part of your home, in a bathtub, and in the bathroom, those areas, because these warned areas here under this orange area is a severe thunderstorm warning, meaning that storm we're seeing, that is a tornado warned storm in the Callahan area, is going to be heading towards Stevens and Eastland County. So back here, keeping an eye on it. Heading towards Moran, FM 576. That's where we're going to see a lot of that hail continuing. We're seeing some kind of motion there. Nothing to confirm yet, though, so that is good. No confirmation. We don't want to see that. All right, continuing to watch this here. All right, I'm gonna get on screen here for a minute. So this is gonna be the area we're mainly watching for this storm. Again, it's heading towards kind of the the southeast areas, heading in towards Stevens and into Eastland and into Callahan County. So it's currently in Callahan County near the North Putnam areas, and then kind of heading out towards the east here. And that's going to be where you kind of need to go ahead and get prepared. So Eastland, Stevens, and Shackelford. Shackelford kind of the southeast areas here. So there is Moran just kind of underneath this kind of banner here. You're going to want to go ahead and get towards your areas. Again, no confirmed tornado here this morning, just seeing some possible rotation in there, and also a very large hail core here, dropping very large hail, likely 2+ inches here this morning. That is very damaging hail. This is going to continue off towards the Stevens area, not looking for much signs of weakening, unfortunately. As you can see here towards Baird, though, that is where we're starting to see that storm pass. So y'all probably had a lot of rainfall there. Now it's getting a little bit more quiet, thank goodness. But now this storm is continuing to head off towards the eastern area, Stevens and Breckenridge. Cisco, you're likely getting some of that heavier rain now, but that, again, that rotation is likely around here, but we're mainly seeing some of that kind of stay with those winds, and possibly those kind of signatures are with that hail that is happening. What happens when that radar hits that hail is it can kind of bounce back, indicating something much larger than it actually is. So keeping an eye on that here. If you're in these areas, just continue to stay in your safe place here. That's the best option for you to be. Please be indoors, especially. I know a lot of people are probably waking up and getting ready to head to work, but you want to stay where you can, stay put in the best place possible. Excuse me. All right. It is looking like the tail end of the storm is kind of not strengthening too much, which is good. Yeah, so this is kind of this is the main area that I'm looking at here. That area of possible rotation, and then there's that other area down south of Admiral, which we're not seeing much, but this is where it's showing another area of rotation. So County Road 436, County Road 216, County Road 461, and areas in between there, FM 2228, Private Road, I missed that one. County Road 461 though, County Road 217. Those areas south of Admiral are looking to be possibly an area of rotation here this morning. And possibly here. So County Road 453, County Road, okay, so that's still County Road 453. Be aware of getting to your safe places. Have your alerts turned on. The other area we're watching is here, but I'm not seeing as much of that velocity here, so that is a better sign. Just a lot of that hail is still that big issue. Yep, there we go. That's that very large hail that we're seeing here this morning. 2-inch hail, possibly even larger here this morning. So, and then there's now another hail core just east of Admiral. That is 1 inch or larger, and that's on FM 880 South near County Road 423. In County Road 474. So you are likely seeing some hail. If you are, let us know. I'm still not seeing any reports of actual tornado rotation, so that is a very good sign. We want to keep seeing that. That's what we want to pay attention to. Let's kind of go wide view here, though, since we're kind of still staying under that threat. It is now almost 5:45. I'm going to actually back it up here. Back it up. We got 5:45. This warning is likely to expire for the first warning that was put out for Callahan County. So Potosi, Baird, Tuscola, Dudley, Eula, Clyde. That is now passed, y'all. So this is going to expire at 5:45. Once that expires, you are likely in the clear for this morning. But the areas near Putnam, this is until 6 a.m. So we have about 15 more minutes, and then it's going to continue towards Stevens and Breckenridge, Harpersville, Moran. So those areas, go ahead and seek your shelter now. we're seeing the storm from the Sweetwater area next. This is going to continue to push through. It is strengthening, but it's looking to be not as strong as these other ones. So this is the line we're kind of paying attention to next. That's coming off of Sweetwater. It is going to head towards the Abilene area, but that biggest round of kind of rain is going to head towards the south areas here, and then also into the Anson areas near Jones County. That storm that has been warned, though, now is still kind of looking at that core near the Putnam area, heading in towards Stevens and Eastland County. But Stevens and Breckenridge, that's where we're really going to want to pay attention to it, since that's kind of where that's indicating that huge hail core causing 2 inches of hail and possibly some of that rotation there. So these warned areas in Callahan County are going to eventually expire, specifically the area that's covering Clyde, Baird, Potosi, Tuscola, Eula. Those areas going to expire in the next now 5:45. It now just hit, so it's going to expire. The other one that is covering Putnam and some of Admiral is not going to expire until 6 a.m. So looking at that possibly tornado warned area to continue into Breckenridge, still trying to pinpoint where that rotation is, and if it is tornadic rotation or if it's just some of those winds kind of wrapping around there. So again, as it's heading towards Stevens and Eastland, just make sure you're kind of in your areas. Towards Haskell, that has now passed and it's kind of heading out of the area. We're still seeing some pretty decently sized storms, lots of heavy rainfall and lots of hail within these storms as well. Even if it's not kind of showing this large hail, you're likely seeing some pea-sized hail as well. So continuing to pay attention to that here this morning. We're seeing lots of lightning as well. Let me show you what the lightning looks like out there. Wow, look at that. Especially this storm that is now warned. A ton of lightning out there. Now this is this next storm that's heading towards the Abilene area. It's kind of over FM 2 2035. Nolan is seeing a lot of this. FM 126, Blair, it's about to head towards you with some of the strongest rainfall here. Trent, Merkel, Kozar, y'all are going to be seeing this next. I'm actually going to pull up our tower cam here. This is out in near Chai, so you can see lots of lightning here. It's just continuing to strike, and you can see it clearly. It is very, very strong here this morning. Seeing lots of strikes there continuing. So that's that next storm that's likely Abilene is going to see. And in this one, it's looking just to be some stronger winds. Stronger winds. So you see no advisories for the storm. When an advisory is put out, it means that we're seeing possibility for it to become severe. Luckily, no advisory for that. The only advisories and warnings still out or in Stevens and Eastland. This tornado warning is likely going to end. We're not seeing any kind of tornadic activity here this morning. No tornadic activity here this morning as of now, just looking at possible rotation. A lot of this is especially what we're kind of hearing from the National Weather Service now is likely due to this hail core that is in it. That is what's kind of triggering these warnings here, is because of this hail core. And even now it's kind of breaking up a good bit. So let's see what that hail core looks like. That's still pretty big. We're looking at pretty decently sized hail here this morning. 2 inches, possibly even larger. We've been seeing a lot of that. Cisco, I know someone was talking about Cisco here earlier. Yes, y'all are likely starting to see y'all are in the heart of that storm there in Cisco. Moran, you're likely hearing some loud thunder. Aeolian, I believe that's how you say it. Excuse me if I'm wrong. Harpersville, Gunsight, y'all are about to see some of this heavy rainfall and hail. Hail is going to be that biggest issue. So let me show you kind of where this is on the map here. So it was in Putnam for quite some time, and it still kind of is there, but it's mainly lagging behind. It's kind of where this purple color is. This radar is kind of picking up on it much, much quicker. We're starting to see that enter into these corners here between Shackelford and Stevens and into Eastland as well. So Moran, you're likely seeing some hail as well into FM, I believe that's 15 1853 there in Harpersville, Gunsight, Eolian, into Breckenridge next. Still, it's severe weather, so you want to stay in your safe places. Like I said, that tornado warned area that is just kind of covering Putnam in this outer corner here in the north kind of east areas of Callahan, that is going to likely expire because we've kind of confirmed that this hail core is likely what's causing that rotation because it's kind of showing up where that velocity is as well. So as of now, still no confirmed tornadoes. Best to still stay in your safe places though. Don't get out of them. And if you're in these areas, I still advise you to stay in them as well because this hail, very, very large and lots of lightning out there. Do not go outdoors. If you are outdoors, please come inside. That hail is being very large. We've seen reports of tennis ball size hail already this morning, and it's likely to continue over the next few hours for these areas. We're going to see these rounds of storms continue as well through the 8 a.m. hour. We're seeing lots of storm watches and warnings here this morning, but mainly that watch is for the whole entire area here, besides some areas that are west. So we now have that warning extended to I believe this is actually out. Yes, that is out of our DMA, but towards the Graham area. I know some people do follow us in Olney, so that is an area that is under that watch, but just kind of barely past that severe weather watch there. Areas up north, though, as well, we do cover some of this area here. So, well, it's actually next to Benjamin in Knox County. So we technically don't cover this area, but there is a severe storm warning near Seymour where some of those tornadoes actually happened last year, but there are no tornado warnings besides the one we still have there until 6 a.m. here this morning. So at 6 a.m. in 10 minutes, this is going to expire. They're likely going to let this expire. But possibly another warning near Eastland could be confirmed here. So let's get back to this radar. If you're in Eastland County or near Eastland and Breckenridge, make sure you're going ahead and getting in your safe places here this morning. That's where we want to be. So this could be some velocity and tightening here. This kind of ball here near Highway 569. Near just north of Nimrod and Highway 2526. So if you're in those areas, please make sure you're in your safe places just south of Cisco. That could be some velocity area and maybe even near FM 1853, that one I just pointed out a minute ago, County Road 105 and County Road 209. Let's see here. FM 880 north, you're kind of in the middle of that large hail core. I still think this hail core is kind of lagging behind here. It possibly is up a little bit further, but still no matter where it is, these areas are likely getting some very large hail. FM or County Road 127, County Road 107, 122, 306, 125, 304, specifically in FM 880 north, y'all are seeing some larger hail. Out towards Sweetwater, that other storm we're kind of watching here this morning, there is some small hail present near FM 2035. So just some likely pea-sized hail. That's going to be heading towards Abilene, but a lot of that's looking to stay pretty weak, fortunately for us. So yeah, this is kind of where that hail is here this morning for that Sweetwater storm. Most of it staying pretty small here this morning. I'm going to take a look at some of our tower cams to see if we can see what's going on. All right. Not seeing much there. It is definitely pouring down at Trent and Ty. Thanks, we can see that on our tower cam. So Trent especially, it is downpouring here this morning. Near Ty, not so much. This tornado warning is going to expire at 6 a.m. So that's going to be in the next 7 minutes. So just continue to stay in your safe place areas until this is completely gone, but you are almost there. You're almost in the clear of that storm completely passing. It is pretty much almost done for your areas. So I would say over the next few minutes, you can kind of get out of your areas here if you need to, but best bet is just to stay where you are as these storms continue to kind of head towards the eastern areas. Albany, you're seeing quite a bit of rainfall here this morning. No hail though for y'all. Maybe some small pieces that aren't getting picked up, but a lot of that big hail just north of Cisco here. So that's kind of still where we're seeing a lot of this rotation at. There we go. Yeah, that's looking to be like that's that hail core that's kind of showing this velocity, not necessarily any rotation, because we still have not had any confirmed tornadoes as of yet. So that is still fantastic news. We do not want to see that. Just continue to stay in your areas, mainly east here. No excessive rainfall. Well, we actually do now. We have excessive rainfall for the whole area. This is mainly for this evening, though. We're going to see more rain this evening, but that is not the main point of right now. This main point is this very large hail sticking up here. This is definitely over 2 inches. At least 2, but it's likely in some places it could be stronger, just larger depending on kind of where it's falling at. Taking a look back at these warnings here. Ivan, Caddo, those areas in Stevens County, go ahead and make sure you're kind of in your safe place area. Breckenridge is out of that warning, but I'm going to go ahead and call it safe and say that is going to be under that severe warning as well, because this storm is kind of, it's probably heading just south of it, but you're going to get some of those outer effects here. So just make sure you're staying indoors here this morning. If you have to go to work in the next little bit, make sure you just give it some time, wait it out here a few minutes. You can see that most of that strong part of that storm is staying south of Breckenridge, but still you're likely seeing a lot of heavy rain, lots of lightning here. This is especially why we don't want to go outside either. You see all that lightning in all of these storms, really, just indicating kind of the strength here. We're just steadily seeing lightning pop one after the other here this morning, so being extra cautious with that. If you're in the Seymour area, y'all are likely seeing some hail as well. Not as much though, but that's technically out of our area here. Abilene, we're likely going to see some rain here soon. Merkel and Blair, y'all are also going to see it. Trent, let's take off this lightning. Trent is definitely seeing some stronger rainfall here this morning. All right, it looks like we have 3 minutes until this tornado warned area near Putnam clears. Y'all are pretty much out of that storm here now, but just keep staying there for the next few minutes just in case. But we're mainly looking pretty clear for that area here. I would not be surprised if they may be out of warning for the Breckenridge area, but I think we've kind of seen some more of this velocity in some of this Eastland area as well, but mainly that hail core. It is strengthening. It is a strengthening hail core just north of Cisco, so we're going to pay attention to that there. If you're in the Cisco area, still stay in your safe place. Yeah, definitely seeing a lot of large hail there, and it's going to head towards Gunsight and Harperville. So if you're in between there in County Road 104, 187, 155, 159, stay in your safe places here this morning. It is not over yet. And we're also tracking this other storm just west of the Abilene area near kind of Nolan, but it's more over Trent now. So Trent, y'all are likely getting a lot of rain here this morning. Hopefully this can make its way to the Abilene area with just the rain. Buffalo Gap and Tuscola, y'all are going to see another round of heavy rain, maybe even some hail again there, but most of that main hail is staying towards the Cisco area. But luckily on this radar, seems to be that the storm is weakening, but it's going up and down here this morning, folks. It's just kind of continuing to stay pretty strong. It's kind of going through some cycles here, so we're going to keep paying attention to it like we have been all morning. But that tornado warning is continuing. I'm going to continue to watch this area near Clyde. Let's see where this warning is. Continuing. Let's see. All right, Clyde and Baird, I would say you guys are in the clear for right now. That next storm is going to be heading this way, but yeah, now that tornado warning is now out of Callahan County. We are no longer seeing that tornado warning here. So everybody is in the clear there. You're not looking at much of that storm continuing here this morning. So if you can kind of get into especially these areas in Stevens and Eastland County, keep staying in your safe place here, whereas the Baird area, y'all are mainly just seeing some of the last little bit of effects of the Clyde and Baird area, so y'all are good for right now. Abilene, go ahead and, just make sure you're indoors at least here as this lightning continues here this morning, especially as it heads towards Merkel, Ty, and View, Caps, those areas. Blair, Cozart, just kind of keep indoors here this morning if you can, because that lightning is no joke here this morning. But anyone in Callahan County near Clyde, Baird, Rowden, Oplin, y'all are mainly in the clear for now. Eula as well. Admiral, y'all are to kind of be out of it. Now that it's past Putnam, pretty confident that we're kind of looking at that to stay away here. Breckenridge and Eastland, though, we're continuing to see lots of heavy rainfall. And this hail, luckily it has died down a little bit again, but that could be a sign that it might be ready to strengthen. Hope I'm not jumping around too much for y'all, trying to get the best view of everything. Getting reports of power outages out in Cisco, so that is very likely, as we've had this very strong hail kind of sitting right over Cisco, kind of propagating here this morning, continuing to move towards the east. And that storm as well continuing to move towards the east here. All right, let's kind of look at a future look here. I'm gonna get this playing for y'all. Kind of get on air a little bit. So, sorry, I went to black for a second. So these are some of the main storms we have out there. We are looking at some of the main ones here to be kind of the Sweetwater area heading towards Abilene. It is getting towards Anson as well, but it's mainly just some of that heavier rainfall. The one we're paying attention to here is as it's heading towards Stevens and Eastland has a very large hail core in it. 2 inches and plus in some of those areas. Other areas closer towards kind of a little bit above Throckmorton here in a county that technically is out of our area is also seeing some hail, but we're paying attention to the one that just had a tornado warned storm. Luckily, no confirmed tornadoes as of right now. Not really seeing too much rotation, but there has been a little bit here and there as it's heading towards the southeast. It's technically almost out of our area as well, so Breckenridge, just hold on for a little bit longer, as well as Eastland. Keep staying in your safe place areas as this hail is very, very large. That's another reason why we want to stay away from windows, because that very large hail could easily break that glass. If you're in your cars outside, please stay in place. Don't try and get out unless you are in the clear. Stay indoors, though, if you can, if you're already indoors. We're looking at some of these warnings out there. That's where those main storms are in our area. We could see a warned storm for this Sweetwater storm, but it's likely to stay a little bit below as of right now. So mainly for Stevens, Eastland, and as we head kind of out, that's kind of technically out of our area there. So Stevens and Eastlands are where we're really paying attention to for these severe thunderstorm warnings continuing now until 6:45. So we have about another 40 minutes for these storms to kind of keep holding on in the area and then eventually passing through. Our whole area is under a severe thunderstorm watch until 8 a.m. here this morning. So that's going to definitely keep us under that until 8 a.m. with these storms kind of continuing to move across the area here this morning. So we're not in the clear yet, that's for sure. We're still kind of keeping our eyes out there until sunrise here this morning, but luckily still no confirmed rotation. We're looking at some of these storms, like I said, to continue out of the area east through this afternoon, and then we're seeing this kind of cold front stay steady across the area. That's what's kind of setting the scene for us here this morning, keeping these storms in the area, kind of keeping that moisture around and allowing for that convection to kind of keep producing these storms. So that's where we're actually seeing a lot of those warned storms, because that's where that cold front is here this morning. Now through the afternoon, we're going to start to see clear skies, and then towards this evening, overnight, once again, as we head into Friday morning, very similar to today, we're going to see these storms begin to form again. Once again, thanks to that cold front that is here, it's staying stalled out, creating that convection across the area. So even more storms possible for Friday, but it's mainly looking to stay kind of west and then towards the northern counties here, with a few showers kind of present. As we continue to head through the evening of Friday, many storms are going to stay pretty clear. And then as we get towards the later evening, overnight into Saturday, once again, we're going to see these storms kind of continue to form. We have best chances of these showers Friday and Saturday. So today through the weekend, we're looking at even more chances coming up. So let's take another look here at some of our warned storms this morning. All right, yeah, still keeping them on until 6:30 now, so we have about 25 minutes for these. Eastland and Stevens, let's check where that hail core is. So it looks like it's weakening a little bit. That hail might be heading right towards Breckenridge. Yep, there we go. So Eolian and into Breckenridge, and then Gunsight, you're likely seeing some just north of Morton Valley is that larger core, but we have now seen this kind of split and decrease. So that is a good sign, but again, we've kind of been seeing this go up and down. So you have about 1 inch hail still out there, which is still very large hail for this kind of area, we're still seeing a lot of that continue here this morning. Sorry, I keep pausing. I'm trying to see a lot of these storm reports that are out here, which is causing a lot of this larger hail. So if you're County Road 270, FM 576, and kind of anywhere in between that, you're seeing some larger hail as well, likely closer towards 1 inch. Yep, 0.8. So this is larger than quarter size, getting close to golf ball size hail for most of our areas here this morning. Luckily, no warned storms as of right now, but at least tornado warned storms. We do have severe warned storms here this morning. Breckenridge, Eastland, these areas. Let's see, Eolian, Harpersville, Frankel, excuse me if I'm saying that incorrectly. Gunsight, Morton Valley, Ranger, Olden, Eastland, Staff, Strawn, Caddo, those areas are looking to be under this warning until 6:30. So this storm is continuing to pass. I know we've been seeing reports of power outages. That means we have very strong winds within these storms, and that hail likely causing some damage as well. So as you're getting ready to as you keep staying in these safe places for now until this storm passes, areas in Callahan County, y'all are good for now. We kind of have gotten past that really bad storm there. But in the Breckenridge and Stevens areas, mainly southeastland, y'all are looking okay for now to kind of, get a little bit more comfortable, but still keep staying there in Breckenridge. Keep staying under your kind of safe place areas. I would say in the next probably 20 to 25 minutes, we're going to see this continuing to exit. We are going to see storms continue, but as of now, this storm, especially west of Abilene, is not looking severe. It does not even have a advisory out for it yet. So just keep staying there until the next little bit. Well, there we go. That has now been, we do have a special weather statement because of that storm out there. So spoke a little too soon there. this storm that is heading to Abilene, it could possibly become a severe warning storm, meaning that we have large hail and some very strong winds. That's the same thing that's happening in Breckenridge and Eastland, but Callahan County, y'all are good. I would say Tuscola, Potosi, y'all are okay, but the best place you can be is indoors in your safe place, especially away from hail. The Albany area, y'all are seeing lots of rainfall, but that biggest thing is just that hail heading into Breckenridge and Eastland here this morning. Definitely lots of no power outages, so keep staying safe here this morning. We'll continue to keep an eye on this. This is going to be our next kind of storm here that we're kind of going to be looking at. So in the Abilene area, you can see that kind of stronger area near Merkel is kind of heading mainly northeast, so it's kind of going to go right above us here, but then we have that second tail end of it that's probably going to see part of our southern area. So we're likely going to get a pretty decent downpour here in the next 15-20 minutes, maybe even sooner. Likely already seeing some rainfall here. That hail is mainly staying in small areas. Anson, Holly, y'all are definitely seeing some heavy rain, and Noodle as well. Almost on the back end of that. Noodle, you're probably going to clear up here soon into Looters and then to Nugent, I believe, into Hamby as well. So we're going to possibly see these areas enter into a severe storm warning area as this storm kind of continues to head towards our way. The other one continuing is now out of Putnam into Breckenridge and Eastland, again with lots of power outages confirmed and some hail out there as well. I'm staying on air right now because we have lots of severe potential across the area, and many people are now trying to head to work. So I'm going to keep staying on here so that we can keep us informed here this morning. Eastland, y'all are almost in the clear here. Your warning is just for another 20 minutes. So keep paying attention to that warning here. We're likely to see one next. Let's see what we're going to see for that meso outlook here. No, okay. All right. Good Thursday morning, everybody. We've definitely got a lot of commotion going on here this morning. Storms have been going on since midnight here, but we've had some tornado warning storms. Luckily, those have ended now. We're still just seeing this hail be the biggest concern. It's almost out of here, but it's almost to you guys in Breckenridge. So if you are there, make sure you are inside very quickly. Luckily, these storms are not tornado warned anymore, so I think you're clear to, be a little bit more comfortable, but don't get too comfortable so that you're not prepared for anything that can happen quickly. But right now we're just mainly looking at this hail to continue to be an issue, about an inch or larger in some areas. So that's about to kind of head right over Breckenridge here. It's kind of continuing to move. So we're seeing that track just going to go kind of right over there in South Hamlin as well, near County Road 229, FM 2231 West, County Road 150, 151. All of these areas anticipating some of this larger hail. Gunsight, it has now passed you. It is now near Frankel, kind of propagating a little bit closer there. County Road 125, 136, 120, 126, 127. Y'all are likely going to see some hail here soon. 134, 133, FM 207 in Stevens County. Let me be more specific. Seeing some hail there, some smaller hail, luckily. Now let's pay attention to what's happening west of Abilene. So this is that special weather statement. It is now covering Callahan, Jones, Shackelford until 6:30. So we'll only have about 15 more minutes in there for that statement, but that means that we could see a possible warned storm come from that. That's kind of them saying, hey, we see that there's potential for this to become severe. So as of right now, no severe warnings have been placed. Brecken, Stevens, and Eastland, your severe storm warning is about to end in about 15 minutes or so. And yes, a lot of power has been out. I'm seeing a report that Cisco College still has power, but many people in Cisco do not. Luckily, there's not showing any hail in this storm that is out towards the west of Abilene here. But that doesn't mean that there's not any. There still could very well be small hail. So that's probably a reason that we're not seeing this being a severe warning storm yet, because usually with that severe warning, it's winds and hail kind of associated with it. So a lot of that is going to go straight towards the north of Abilene, but South Abilene, you're still going to get quite a bit of rainfall. Buffalo Gap, you're already seeing some rain. Tuscola, you're about to. FM 604, going to see some rain as well. If you have any hail reports, send them our way. You can send them to the KTXS Facebook page. You can send them to Caden Dinkins WX on Facebook. That's going to be kind of where we're seeing a lot of this. All right, trying to get some updates out there. Come on. Keeping an eye on these storms here, though, for most of us. Okay. Definitely still seeing some stronger areas near Breckenridge, but it's looking to weaken quite well. So all right. Still that warned storm out in Stevens and Breckenridge. So for the next 15 minutes, we're going to watch that and see what happens. And then we will go from there kind of on whether we stay live or not, because got to see some news as well, I guess. Still some large hail out there. Yep, over Frankel. So it's all about to be out of our area, so that's good. But well, at least this storm on the east side is about to be out of the area. We still have these storms. Now we're getting a small hail core kind of after Merkel near Ty over. Let's get some roads here. County Road 287, County Road 286. We're seeing some of this smaller hail here. County Road 285. If you're seeing any reports, let us know. We're definitely seeing lots of lightning and rainfall here. Let's see if we can see any hail across our area. It's definitely raining in the Abilene area on the north side. We're seeing quite a bit of thunder and lightning. I'm not seeing too much hail though, so that is good. I'm not seeing any at all. Mainly just some, ooh, I just got a nice lightning strike. Sorry for anybody that has got their volume up. I did not mean to make that noise, but we're seeing lots of lightning out there kind of towards the South Abilene area. I wonder if I got that on camera. There we go. Now we're seeing that lightning. Let's see if I can back it up. Come on. Oh, we can now hear the thunder out here. There we go. All right, hopefully we don't lose power here. We're getting some glitches, mainly from that lightning, which you can see it's flashing. Just, oh, there you go, another flash. That was a bright one. It may have hit a power line out there. It seemed like it was a flash of blue. Yeah, that is a very bright flash down there towards the South of Abilene, kind of creating a ball almost. Definitely lots of it. Now talk about a wake-up call. Good morning, everybody. Happy Thursday. There you go. We can hear the thunder right over Abilene. So let's see where this storm is. I just almost got a good thing of lightning there. All right, yes, we are seeing kind of that main part of this storm here over Abilene with all this lightning. That's all we're seeing, all this lightning here. And so some of us may end up with no power here this morning. So be prepared for that as well. Luckily, this storm has not become severe, so that is good. We're keeping this below severe limits. Let's see what the hail is looking like. Still not a lot of hail, just very small, but also very loud. So this will be over probably in the next 20 minutes, possibly even less, for the Abilene area. That's going to keep us under some rainfall for the next little bit, but luckily not warned for now. Again, this is kind of traveling right over us here this morning. Buffalo Gap, y'all are getting the tail end of it, likely about to be out of it in the next few minutes. Merkel, y'all are in the clear. Trent, definitely in the clear. Areas towards the east of Abilene, so Elmdale, Clyde, Baird, y'all are likely about to hear another round of very loud rain and kind of thunder, lightning. Not the warned storm like we saw earlier that had a tornado warning. This is just a regular storm kind of heading that way right now. It does not have severe capacities as of this moment. It does have an advisory out for it, but not a warned storm as of right now. So impact, you're also likely seeing a lot of this. Holly as well, very loud kind of thunder and lightning here. It's just constantly striking. Make sure you are indoors, and if you are kind of having to go out for work, please just give it a little bit longer. We're trying to just kind of get past this really strong part of that storm, and then we're looking to be more in the clear. A lot of this rainfall is expected to be out until kind of 8 a.m. here this morning. I'm still seeing lots of kind of reports, especially in the Eastland area, where they got really hit by a lot of hail and strong winds, which that hail is continuing over Breckenridge now. Y'all are mostly in the clear. FM 287, County Road 229, still seeing some of those hail cores there. And the other one is just almost out of Stevens County, just near FM 207 towards the end of that, just past County Road 105. Oh yeah, just kind of made its way out there. So still hearing lots of thunder, lightning. No, only thing that's warned right now is still that storm in Eastland. Oh, we actually have another one now, so let's see what we got going on. Okay. Yep, until 7:15, they're kind of keeping that storm around for the Eastland area. Let's see if we can get that to pull for us. There we go, 7:15, Eastland and Stevens. You're kind of seeing that like southeast portion of Stevens and then the northeast portion of Eastland here this morning. That's until 7:15 here this morning. So that is now extended for almost the next 45 minutes. Those are the only warned storms out of the whole watch area, which is good. Lots of reports of power. And I'm also seeing reports that people are saying that it could be restored by 9 a.m. So that is also a good sign. We want to get that power back restored. But there's very big possibilities that more power could go out as these storms continue to head towards the eastern areas. Again, mainly passing Abilene. It's almost through the area now. But it will continue to head towards Clyde and Baird. It's in Nugent, Luters, Stamford, heading towards Albany next. Mainly just loud thunder, lots of lightning, and possibly some hail, but as of right now, it's looking like much smaller hail and not even really any. So the north side of Abilene, maybe Ty just got some. I don't know if y'all can hear that, but we're hearing lots of thunder over the station here this morning. We are actually just on the north side here, so that some of that hail could head towards us, but we're not seeing much as of now. Let's see these gusts out here. Yeah, 62 mile an hour gust in Cisco, that will definitely do it for those power outages. So you're seeing clearly where that storm went earlier this morning. So we had that tornado warned storm in Callahan County, and it was just near kind of the Putnam area for a long time. A lot of that hail was causing probably some of that signature, though, with some of those winds kind of turning around, but not necessarily any rotation confirmed. Breckenridge now seeing 22 mile an hour gusts, but that's 62 miles an hour is is quite high. That is hurricane force winds, and that's definitely also severe force winds here this morning. So 60 miles an hour and beyond is what we were expecting to see. So that's definitely why we're seeing some of those power outages here this morning. Definitely some tree limbs down. So as you're heading out the doors here in the next little bit, give it a little bit longer. Make sure you're kind of being wary on those roads of tree limbs falling down. We have another storm that's over Abilene right now that is going to continue to head east toward those areas as well. Luckily, seeing in Abilene, those severe storms not necessarily severe right now, so that is a good sign. Only 30-mile-an-hour winds, that is still very high, but nothing close to those 60-mile-an-hour winds here this morning. So that is a good sign for us here in the Abilene area, but areas east, just know that there are more kind of rain showers coming here this morning. 60 miles an hour, that is very high here. Lots of showers here this morning still. All right, Abilene, we're almost through the thick of it here this morning. Y'all are kind of getting another round in Eolian, kind of near Harpersville, near Breckenridge, FM 601. Cisco, y'all are looking to be in the clear for now. That Warren storm is about to expire, but there is, part of it is at least, there is that other one until 7:15 now, so. I'm getting reports of hail on the north side of the Abilene area. I wonder if we can see any of this. I know we can see lots of lightning, but not necessarily hail. Definitely lots of lightning still, everybody. So if you're in the Stevens and Eastland areas, still kind of make sure you're staying away from those windows and doors in your safest place possible, just in case. Let's see if we got any new advisories out there. Still the one over Abilene until 6:30, so we only got 5 more minutes for this one out there. It's likely to let it expire since that storm is not necessarily becoming severe, so that is another good sign. I think I can hear some of that hail hitting down in our station here this morning. All right, since we have a little bit less severity going on here this morning, let's talk about what we're going to see in the next few hours or so. Is it hailing out there? No, no hail. Copeland just went to check for me, so thank you, Copeland. No hail, at least at our station. We're on the north side of Abilene, so well, hopefully y'all can't hear that. My IFB is dying, so got to get a new battery for that. Still not looking at severity for the Holly and Looters area in Abilene. They're just kind of staying a little bit away. And that's kind of all we're continuing to see here this morning. So thank you very much. All right, got some new batteries for me. All right, after we see what this storm does, and that's just passing over Abilene, we're gonna kind of see what we can do here for the rest of the show, because we're calming down in that sense, which is fantastic. We want to see that, but definitely have gotten a good amount of rainfall here this morning. Let's see what we can see here. Any estimates? No estimates yet. That temperature has dropped quite a bit here this morning. We were in those 60s earlier. Now we're down to those 50s, so definitely cooling us off. We're keeping these warnings, though, around for the next 30 or so minutes for the, not Abilene area, excuse me, for, I know this is getting kind of confusing here, but for this larger box, let's see, for this larger box right here, we're seeing that kind of continue until 7:15 for Eastland, Breckenridge, those areas. Cisco, I know y'all just got kind of hit pretty hard with some of those really strong winds. We saw 60+ mile an hour winds there, and hearing reports of some damage as well as lots of power outages there. So just keep holding on for the next, I would say, hour, and we're gonna see these storms kind of continue to head out east. Yep, Abilene is almost in the clear here. We're still hearing lots of thunder this morning, though. Potosi, you're definitely getting some. Elmdale, Nugent, Looters, Avoca, FM 600, y'all are seeing lots of rain. Aspermont and Sagerton, you could probably see some of this rain coming here soon. Maybe even Judd up towards Knox City. But the biggest part of this is heading off towards the east still. Luckily, no more tornado-warned storms. We had one there for a minute, and now we are seeing that continue to pass. It is almost out of Breckenridge. Still seeing some very large hail, though, there. This is now over near Ivan and FM 717, FM 3253, County Road 179. Y'all probably saw it just a minute ago, and this is likely getting close to over an inch hail. Yep, about 1 inch, and possibly larger, though. Some of these storms are definitely producing larger hail this morning, so keep an eye on that. That's continuing to head out northwest. We're not seeing any hail with that storm that's over these areas here, which is fantastic. All right, everybody, since these kind of warnings are going to expire here soon, I'm going to go ahead and give it a break so we can kind of come back in maybe the next 15 so minutes and give you a new update. If we have any more updates, we'll come back live on air. But in around 6:50, we'll have an update on the next kind of several hours of what we're looking like for later. But we're going to kind of give it a rest here for a minute since we have those warnings kind of dying out. But just keep paying attention to your areas. Luckily, most of this is kind of starting to head out towards the east and die down. We'll be back in a little bit.